Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my everyday makeup routine. I've gotten a lot of questions recently about my everyday makeup routine, the products that I'm using, and how I'm getting these looks. And to be honest, I feel like I've shared this over and over. A whole lot hasn't changed, but what I thought I would do differently in this video is not only show you how I'm using the products, but also talk about each product and do my best to describe it and why it works for me. So I hope that you find that helpful, especially for like the foundation, because I've gotten some questions about the Rms Uncover-Up cream foundation that I use and the concealer. So I'm talking about those products, how they work for me, why they work for me, and just some of my favorite go-to products, the ones that I have been using for years and years just because they're so good. I don't find anything that does it for me. So I hope that you find this video helpful, informative. Definitely let me know. I just saw Diesel run right through here. He must have been outside. Let me know what is a staple in your everyday makeup routine, and I hope that you find this video helpful. If you do, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And this one, like I said, is going to be just a little bit longer because I am trying my best to talk about the products and the techniques, and instead of just making it a super quick tutorial, really just give you information on what I'm using, how I'm using it. So I hope that that is helpful for you, even though this is not a groundbreaking tutorial. It's pretty simple, but it works for me. I can get it done in like a little over 5 minutes every day, and my skin loves it and I love it. So I hope that you find it helpful, and we'll just go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so I already went ahead and did my skincare routine, but I use the Dr. Barbara Sturm skincare. So I went ahead and used the cleanser in the mornings. Because I'm pregnant, I have tried to just kind of cut out as much skincare as possible and just use the basic kind of minimum products. So what I do use is I go ahead and use the balancing toner. So I like to use a toner, and I usually use this twice a day, but recently I've cut back to just using it in the morning. And I also use eye cream. So I put a little bit of eye cream under my eyes. My skin is definitely a combination, but I have noticed like a little bit of dryness around my eyes. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but that's what I do in the morning. I'm also gonna put on a little bit of my Lumiere lip balm. I have tried other lip balms, and honestly, you guys, this one, it's just the best. Like I said, I've tried to use other ones, but this one is my favorite. So I always use that morning and night, basically every day. I also like to use my little Jade Roller. I just got this one off of Amazon. Definitely not the best quality, but it feels amazing on my skin, and I wasn't sure if I would use one, and I honestly love it. So I always like to do my eyes and just kind of help relieve some of the tension that I hold in my face, and also some of the puffiness. You can hear it squeaks because, like I said, it's not the most expensive high quality one, but it works, and I will probably end up buying a different one, but right now this works totally. And then I like to kind of like drain it all down my neck. I'm still a little bit puffy because I'm pregnant, but I do think that that helps, and I love doing it morning, nighttime. Mostly I do it every morning. I don't do it every night, but sometimes if I'm feeling like a little extra, I'll go ahead and roll it, just because you can never be too careful. So I'm gonna go ahead and slip my ring off and start working on my foundation. So I'm almost out, but I really love this Chantecaille tinted moisturizer. It's literally, I have like basically nothing left, but it has lasted me so long. And if I'm just at home or like running errands, I will just wear this, but I like to wear it as my moisturizer and as a base. It's also great like in the summer for just going to the pool. This shade is probably a little bit too dark for me, but I bronze my neck and it really doesn't matter. I like this one because it's not too much coverage, but it still gives me a little bit of coverage and color on my skin. But basically I just use this as a nice kind of like canvas for my skin. And then the foundation that I use, which I have like mixed feelings about this. It's a little bit heavier than what I'm like used to. It also is not oil free, so that is like something that isn't, let me just do this while I talk. This is the Rms Uncover-Up Foundation. So I've been using this probably since about October, maybe even September of last year. It comes with this nice little like spatula so you don't have to put your hand in there. And I only use like the tiniest bit. So what I'll do is I'll start out with like this much, and then I will build it up as needed, which is really great. It's very buildable, and I apply it with my fingers for the most part, and then I blend it out with a beauty blender. So like I said, it's very buildable. It's not the consistency that I would generally go for in a foundation because it's so kind of like thick and heavy on the skin, but once you blend it out, it really feels nice. And I don't know what it is about clean beauty. That's why I've tried to kind of shift a little bit more towards clean beauty, because this consistency of foundation on a regular foundation would break me out like nobody's business. But for some reason, this one does not break me out at all. So I really think for me, obviously I have like acne and it's not the best, but I think for me, the biggest difference that has made in my skin isn't necessarily the type of product or the consistency, rather the ingredients. So I think for me, the cleaner the skincare and the cleaner the beauty products, the clearer my skin stays. So obviously not every product is clean beauty, but for me, definitely using a clean foundation, something that has good ingredients, no fragrance, things like that makes a difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish blending this out, or this will be really long. Okay, so it's probably hard to tell. I'm sitting in front of a window. I was trying to get the most natural lighting that I can, and it's a really cloudy day, but my neck right here, this is where the most of my acne is, and also my scarring. So I do my entire face, and then what I will do is I'll get like just a tiny little bit more and work it on my neck area. This also helps me to like blend it down my neck so I don't have like a harsh foundation line. I kind of hate doing this because I feel like it probably doesn't help with the acne, but it helps to cover it. Okay, so you can see how much I used. It was not very much foundation at all, and I have pretty good coverage. If I was like doing photos or something like that, I might put a little bit more on, or if it was like date night and I was going out, I would just go back in areas where I needed more coverage. But for right now, my skin is pretty much clear. I did have a few breakouts that are healing, but for the most part, it's pretty clear. So I think I'm good as far as that goes. But like I said, this is really buildable, which I do love. So now I'm gonna use my concealer. I use the Rms Beauty Concealer, and this is really great. It's also to that point though, like once it starts to get down, it like starts to get chunky and kind of flake off, which I don't love that. But it's very creamy, very blendable, also very buildable. I would say though, you definitely have to build it. It's very, I would say sheer. It's not quite as much coverage as I would hope for in a concealer, but for every day, it does the job and it keeps my skin happy, which I have found if I can keep my skin happy, then I don't have to use quite as much makeup. So like I said, because my skin is pretty good today, that's all I'm gonna use. What I do is I spot conceal everything, blend it in, and now I use my Laura Mercier translucent powder, which I used to just use all over, but I watched a video, I'm not sure if it was on Vogue or Harper's Bazaar or what it was, but it was Sophia Richie, and she used this and baked with it, and ever since then I have been doing the same. Although I will say I think it wastes a lot of product, so I don't love that, but it helps under my eyes. I think it helps with the dark circles, which since I have gotten pregnant, I have not slept as well, which I know that's only gonna continue, but since I've been pregnant, I haven't slept great, and my dark circles have been very visible. So I just put a little bit of the powder in the lid and use my beauty blender to go under my eyes. So this is, I focus mostly on my eye area, but this is about all I'll do. It goes all over my shirt, by the way. And then I do my nose, my forehead, because that's where I get oily. And then I like to do right here in my chin because this helps me contour my face. So it's not gonna look perfect for right now, but that's all I do. And I let that sit while I do my eyeshadow, which takes me like 2 seconds. I've talked about both of these products before, and this one is no longer available. I think this is the shade Paradiso by Tom Ford, but they have one that's basically identical. It comes with the powder on top. So this is the lid, but I don't really ever use the powder all that much. I have found since I started using cream eyeshadows, like the right ones that stay on, like this one, that my skin looks like fresher and it doesn't look as cakey. It looks youthful, which I need because I don't sleep very much right now. So I just use this all over my lid and I kind of bring it out a little bit with my finger. It's never like perfect, but I love that I can have this done in like 2 minutes. Not even 2. I definitely can have it done in under a minute if I'm not talking. And then I use this shade, which is still available, and this is called Opal. It's like a really, you can see the pink around it, but it's just kind of a really pretty opal color. It's like a pearl. So I'll start it in the middle of my lid and then just bring it in, so that way it gives like a nice little like pop in the center of the lid and also brightens the inner corner. So I'll do the same thing over here. Okay, so that's all that I do. I usually don't do anything on my brow bone. For everyday, I have really cut back. And I don't use eyeliner on the everyday basis. So now I'm gonna do my bronzer. I use Bare Minerals Warmth, and I just have this MAC brush. It's a tapered brush. It is the 116 brush. I've had this for so many years. So what I do is just, I do the around my hairline. I'll blend it out in a second because you can see that line. And then I focus it right here. I don't usually contour extremely every day, but like I said, since I've gotten pregnant, I have pretty much lost all shape in my face and other areas of my body. So we like to contour these days. So I like to focus it up by the hairline and like slowly drag it out. And I'll use my powder brush to blend it. I always like to go a little bit heavy and then just blend it out really well. And I also like to do a little bit of bronzer on my lid. I like to do blush there as well, but I cut blush out, so I don't wear blush on the everyday basis. And then I'm gonna take my powder brush and just blend everything and wipe away the excess baking. But when I got really sick with morning sickness, I really cut everything back to like the bare minimum, just because I didn't feel well, and half the days I didn't wear makeup. And then when I started wearing it, it was kind of like whatever I could do that day, whatever I felt good enough to get done. And now I've just kind of like cut back to whatever is quick and easy and gets me moving in the morning. That's Diesel, he just woke up. Bless you. Bless you. Okay, so you can see that I just blended everything out, and I'll just use my powder brush to just, what is going on? Chill. I'll use my powder brush to just kind of blend everything in. So that's all for the face. For the brows and mascara, I curl my lashes like 10 times. I need to get a new lash curler because this one, I don't think it's doing a whole lot of anything anymore. But I'll curl my lashes, do my brows, curl my lashes again, and then put on mascara. So for my brows, I have been loving Chantecaille products. I really kind of went through a Chantecaille phase, which I want to try one of their foundations and see how that does on my skin. So far, like, all of their products have done really well for me. The only thing I've been disappointed in was the mascara, and I did not love that. So it's still sitting in my bathroom, and I haven't used it. But my brows, I just brush them up. So I like to brush them up. I haven't really done anything with my brows other than like plucking a few random hairs for the past like year. I've been trying to let them grow back out. I start in the middle and I try to do as little as possible. But let's be honest, when you start correcting here and there and here and there, then you're like wind up with these crazy brows. And then I will the middle, and I try to like line it up here so they're kind of a little sparse through here, and I just try to fill that in without making it look too fake. I don't know, what do you think? I think that looks pretty natural. They need to be trimmed, and then I will go over top with my brow gel, which is also from Chantecaille, and I just like to fluff them up a bit, and that's all I do. They need to be trimmed, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one and I'll be right back. Okay, so brows are done, and now, like I said, I'm just gonna curl my lashes again. I'm kind of obsessed with eyelash curling and eyelashes in general. I have not found a mascara that I love more than the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill. I don't know that I ever will, and I'm fine with just buying the same one over and over. I start with my lower lashes because it's hard to do those once your upper lashes are wet. Mine always hit up here, so I always start with my lower lashes and then move to the upper lashes. I think it's easy to just throw on mascara and just like swipe it on, but I think it's something that should be worked with a little bit. It looks best when you work with it. So I like to kind of wiggle everything in. And I always do 2 coats. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this and then come back. Okay, so I just don't think anything compares to this mascara. I think it's just hands down the best. Okay, so for lipstick, I love MAC's Cream Cup. I usually don't wear lipstick unless I'm like leaving the house, but I'll usually just wear my lip balm. But if I throw one on, it might be that in springtime because I think it's really pretty. But I hope that you enjoyed this. This is basically just my simple everyday makeup tutorial, what I wear on a daily basis. Hopefully the lighting is better because it's showing me a little bit washed out, but that's what I do. It usually takes me, I would say, maybe a little bit more than 5 minutes. It's just a routine that I have down. I love the way this eye looks. I think that it looks like you spent time glamming when really you took like 2 seconds, 2 colors and your ring finger to just like slap it on. But I think that's the best thing about finding good products that work, and you just work them into your routine and then it just works. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any video requests, leave them in the description bar, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.